Hello, 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 and welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race RHAP here on Reality TV RHAP-Ups. I'm your host, Liana Boris, and we are here to talk about Canada's Drag Race, episode 6. And I am not alone. This week we have with us Beth Dixon. Beth, how are you?
Sister, I'm feeling sissy excited to talk about this episode.
Sissy, yes. No.
Sissy, no.
Sissy, no. I ban that from this podcast. I have no authority whatsoever, but this ain't gonna fly here.
We're done. That was it.
So annoying. Okay, we will get into all of that. Now, unfortunately, Aman could not be with us this week, but we do have a special guest here with us. That is Mr. Josh. Josh, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. You know, since I am one of Aman's fellow Minority Report Alliance member, I feel like I'm a great substitution for him, you know? Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing today?
All right, so Josh Williams is here with us now. Tell the people, you are from the RHAP class of 2020, and tell us a little bit about you, history with Drag Race.
Yes. So I'm a new RHAP member, you guys. I actually was a part of the Hypothetical podcast in which we spoke about David. So if you guys didn't hear that already, you could hear that at any time. I love Drag Race. I wasn't necessarily really into the queer community that much until Drag Race came into my life. I watched season 8 of RuPaul Drag Race, and it kind of like put me on the spiral of being like, wow, the queer community is amazing. And I started learning more and more about it and became very queer myself. So I fucking love Drag Race. It's one of the few things that made me really into my own skin. So I love it.
I think that's always interesting and so heartwarming when people can talk about a show and say like, oh, this really helped me come into my own. This helped me learn something about myself. Because even as like a straight white woman, like I still learned that there are things that, you know, imposter syndrome, eating disorders, there are a lot of things on the show that like have helped me. And so I think that's always really fascinating to hear.
Amen.
Well, welcome, Josh. So we are going to just go ahead and dive right into everything that's going on with Canada's Drag Race on this episode. So this was the improv challenge week, which I think I liked this challenge, Beth. What did you think about it overall?
I mean, this is an ambitious challenge, right? So you get to this point in the season whenever they do something where they have to write their own acting piece, they have to direct it, they have to know where the props are, they want to know how it's going to be edited. And on top of that, you're relying on other people, one or two other people. Like that's a lot to deal with, and they're timed when they go to film it. So that's a lot of pressure. It really does, in my opinion, separate the strong characters from the weak. And I definitely got that separation this week. I don't know how you guys felt.
Oh, girl, you hit it on the nail. Absolutely. Like it really shows you like who actually knows what they're doing, who knows how to, you know, execute things and do it properly while still showing their talents, while others they're a little bit more flustered and a little bit less educated in that sense. So
I think one of the things about challenges like this is not only does it emphasize the queen's ability to be their characters, but also be organized. And that can really help or really hinder certain teams depending on their organizational acumen and whether or not they can really structure and put together this, lack of a better word, like movie, TV show, commercial, you know what I mean? Like they're really having to edit something together. They had to pick the cameras, which I guess I knew that in my head, but to know how detailed it all was really interesting. And I think, we definitely see some queens succeed while others flounder.
Mm-hmm.
We will get into the details of the challenge in a minute, but I just want to take a moment. So if you are listening to the audio version of the podcast, go ahead, keep on keeping on. But if you're interested in checking out the video, you can go to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page and look at our beautiful faces because Jimbo has a Jimbo necklace and I'm obsessed with it. I always thought they were really corny having like your own name. Although when I think about it, so many icons have had their name on a necklace. So I think it's time for me to jump on board and get a Leona necklace.
Yes.
It was a very 2000s trend, wasn't it? Like, I'd love to see that this is making a resurgence because I remember being in like high school and middle school, like, I need to get a Beth necklace.
Oh my gosh. I saw that necklace and did not know that said Jimbo. I'm sorry, my dumb ass was not reading that backwards. I said, Jim. What?
I'm with you. I didn't know that. I was trying to figure out what it said too, but I wasn't really paying attention. So the fact that you just brought that up, Leon, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that very much makes more sense than what I was thinking that I said. I said, huh? That must be a Canadian word.
So this is Jimbo's necklace. It's hanging above the mirror. So the way the shot works is that it's backwards. So it's OBMIJ, which I have a absolutely embarrassing story to tell. Is one time, so Puya and I were in Ottawa, and there's this down by like the Capitol building. There's Ottawa. It's like spelled out big letters, but we were looking at it from the back, and I was like, what does that word say? Like W, like what? And it full on took me all the way till we walked past it. I turned around and saw it, looking back at it, being like, I'm a freaking dumbass. I was so embarrassed. I didn't say anything until later. I was like, I have a really embarrassing confession to tell you.
Oh, so you didn't say it out loud. You said it to yourself. Okay.
Thank God.
I was like, Puya would have ripped you apart.
Yeah,
I felt like such a dumbass. Anyway, all right. Well, so there's not a whole lot to talk about after the elimination. Apart from, like we lost Kiara, and here we are with our top 7 queens now. It's really getting down to the wire.
I do got something to say about it though. Let me say something. I was watching that episode and I'm like, okay, yes, Kiara was really much the bottom, but so was Boa. Why would I wonder who's going to win out of those two? But then they said Priyanka got in the bottom. I said, oh, I see the conspiracy. That's it. They wanted to save Boa so much because they knew that Kiara was a lip sync assassin. So we needed to send the lip sync assassin home by putting Priyanka in there. And they worked it out, but they didn't fool me. They didn't put another thing. Jimbo edit. I did not see a Jimbo win in that at all. I thought.
Oh wow! No, see, I definitely saw the Jimbo win. I agree with you that I felt like Boa was weaker on the runway and in the challenge versus Priyanka. I felt like at least had a stronger runway than most of the girls did. So, yeah.
Well, one thing that we do see is that Boa got a warning from the judges. We got to see some unaired footage where, Boa's like walking back. She was called safe, and Stacey McKenzie's like, like you are on thin ice. You better be careful.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Did you guys think with the editing of this episode when they show that warning and then her being like, I need to win a challenge. I'm one of the 3 girls that hasn't won a challenge yet. Did you think, ooh, she's either going to win or she's going to go home? Because I certainly did.
That's exactly what I was seeing. I'm like, okay, they're setting this up for and then they added her like clip of like her moment. I'm like, okay, so this is either her beginning or her ending.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, very Tainomi. In like, here's your warning. You've been bad now for a couple weeks. Like, better get it together. You're going home. And of course, like, Boa ends up going home this episode. So I thought definitely the writing was on the wall there with the editing.
I thought so too.
All right. Well, next day in the workroom, we get our mini challenge, which we'll talk about briefly. Josh, overall, have you been enjoying the return of the mini challenge?
Yes. This is one thing about Canada's Drag Race that I actually really love. It really gives me back the vibes of like season 1 through 5. If that makes sense. Like very much a throwback. And their mini challenge are really fun. Like even this one, I absolutely love this mini challenge. Like it really was funny. It was sweet. The queens come off pretty fresh to me, and I haven't got like fresh queens in a very long moment. So I love it. They're doing the improv challenges way better than America.
So this was the psychic hotline operators mini challenge, Beth, where we actually had Crystal from Drag Race UK, but I she was like part Canadian, or she was like born in Canada or something like that. So that's, I think, the linkage there. But she comes in and then they have to have these phone conversations.
My favorite was and my favorite was seeing how many of the queens didn't know that Crystal hung up on them. and Jeffrey having to be like, I think you just got disconnected.
Yeah, I don't know if Crystal needed to slam the phone down harder so that it was like clear that she had hung up on them. But yes, the continuing to talk when the person on the other the other line
Especially
is
as the psychic
hung up
was
on
like
you.
the best part.
I know, right? Josh, were there any standouts for you? Any top performers?
Absolutely. I love Priyanka's. I was like, wow, this is actually a big step up from last week. And I'm glad she stepped it up. I thought she was going to be the winner. But then Lemon actually really did kill it. She had some really funny moments. And even when she won, she's still like, I knew you were going to say that. Like, she was still going all with it. I'm like, okay, I love that. And I think Jimbo was really good as well. So, like, those three stand out. But almost all of them really killed it. The weakest was probably, what's that girl name? Rita. Rita was probably the weakest. But she still looked good.
Rita was in character. I think that Rita was going, if Edith Piaf had been a psychic or like in another lifetime had been like, it was the same characterization of like the leaning forward. Well, I guess it wasn't 100% the same characterization, but very similar.
It was pretty close. It was pretty close. That's what I thought she was doing. I mean, some of the queens, like we didn't really get to see their full, call, I assume, just because some things were so short. But definitely the standouts for me were Priyanka and Jimbo. I didn't really get why Lemon won. I thought she was fun, but I thought Priyanka was funnier because her ghost reference was hilarious. You're having sex with Whoopi Goldberg, hilarious. Like that was the one that I actually laughed out loud.
You in danger. You is in danger. I was like, okay, you got me, girl.
No, I agree. I thought that Lemon was good in a I don't want to say subliminal way, but like in a quieter way, I guess. Like where she had like those like, oh yeah, no, it's good stuff, while she's, I mean, but that was, I don't know, like I was trying to think of the challenge from both Jeffrey and Crystal's perspective, and Crystal wouldn't have gotten a lot of what Lemon was doing because a lot of that was just for Jeffrey or for us. So that's why I kind of felt like Jimbo and Priyanka did a better job because at least their jokes and like what they were doing was something that Crystal as the mystery caller on the other side could understand.
The one other thing that I liked about Jimbo's was the hands. She had eyes like bedazzled on her hands. I don't know if she had that or she made that. Like
it was very Katya. I felt like Katya did that in one episode of where she had like she went like this and they edited it as if they were like coming out, and I was instantly transported.
Yeah, that was really good. I really like those hands. I was like, okay, now she's selling it, bro. All these girls are really, they got that one thing that was just making them, I felt like they had over everybody. Especially that, I don't want to mess up her name. The one that was also part of the Sissy group.
Oh, Alona?
Alona. Her makeup in that, I was like, how much time did they give these people? Because she was looking really good. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, Alona, she can paint really well. Alona was the weakest for me. I felt like Rita did a little bit better, at least was more in character, and Alona was just like, I'm gonna be a bet.
She literally said she was gonna be herself. So
which is all we've seen her do so far. So I guess that's part of why I was like hoping that she would do something different.
Yeah, it's just par for the course.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to get into these main challenges. So, like I said, this is the late night law firm commercials where they have to star, write, direct, all of that jazz to put together these commercials. They're going to be working in teams. So Lemon wins the mini challenge and is then able to assign the teams. Josh, what did you think about the pairings that she put together? So we had Priyanka and Lemon. She paired them together. Then you had Bobo and Alona, and then Rita, Jimbo, and Boa that were the third group.
So she definitely was picking Priyanka because that's the person she worked the best with. It's where they both got very high praise, and they work really well together. So that makes sense why she picked them too. The rest of them, I feel like she was just grouping friends. She really wanted to put Alona and Bobo together, and then the three were just like, okay, I'm just gonna mess y'all together. Because if I was being very analytical, I would have put Jimbo with Alona. They don't get along anyways. So put them together. Put Boa and Bobo together. They don't like each other. And Rita, you can't really, she's too nice to everybody, so.
Well, Rita's like won so many things. Wouldn't you want to like make sure that whoever you think is weakest works with Rita?
Exactly.
Or do you think Rita would care? Like, again, so it's hard because are they being judged based on a team or are they being judged based on individual performances? Because you don't want to put Rita in a situation where she can either carry the team or be the standout on the team necessarily.
True.
So it's kind of hard if you're thinking from a strategy perspective. But Josh, I really love your idea of put Alona, Scarlet Bobo, and Jimbo on the same team. That would have been explosive and a mess, and I would have been here for it.
It would have been a lot. I actually felt like her pairings were incredibly fair. She put the two sisters together, which we'll get into that in a second. But she also put the team of three had three very different styles of drag, but can all be really strong personalities in their own way. Two of which have won challenges, and Boa is clearly liked by the judges, even though she got that warning last week. There have been many times where I've had a very big question mark as to why she was in the top or wherever she placed. So clearly the judges have a soft spot for her. So to put the three people who she feels like the judges like or have given some kind of great criticism in the past too is a very interesting tactic. And then obviously her and Priyanka work well together. So that made sense.
Okay, guys, we have to talk about them. And we're going to talk about our sissy squad first because they're the first one that we see. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the graphic, but the sissy squad of Scarlet Bobo and Alona are Sarah and Saracen, the sisters separation specialists. That's their whole gimmick. Josh, what do you think of this performance?
Anyways, let me say something. What was this? I really did not understand one damn thing they said. Then it just kept being more of a mess. I'm not gonna lie though, in the edit where they literally played the same clip of Bobo getting slapped by that freaking gavel thingy. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Like this, but that was probably the most funniest part of the clip, and that wasn't even in it. So we're going. There's not much I can say about this. Sissy.
How did they get good criticisms? I don't get it. I literally watched this and I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was funny. The best part about it is the name of Sarah and Saracen. I think that's so funny, and that's literally the only thing. Everything else, like, I do believe that Alona was obviously weaker, where all she did was the entire time. But and at least Bobo had different levels and she had different characters for everything that she was doing, which is a huge oversight on Alona's part to not make sure that, like, why is she always saying sissy, blah, 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 blah. You have to make sure that there's a balance so that you have different things that you're criticized on. But in theory, this should have been a funny one. It just turned into a chaotic mess.
It did.
Okay, let me walk through my journey of watching this. Okay, so first we have the rehearsals, right? Like that's kind of the first thing we get with Stacey McKenzie walking the queens through. They're like doing the directing, all that stuff. My first thought was, God, this seems like a bit of a mess. And then Stacey McKenzie's like, Alona and Bobo really impressed me. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a thing where it was a mess in the like preview, but then I'm going to see it and I'm going to be like, oh, I'm super impressed. Cut to the actual episode trailer, commercial, whatever. I'm like, no. I was right. This is a mess. This is definitely a mess. This is super annoying and I don't like it.
So basically, Stacey McKenzie had what we would like to call a low bar for being impressed.
I think that's what it was. So I've rewatched these now like a few times because like maybe I'm missing something. Like maybe there's some more jokes. Like Scarlet Bobo was kind of funny, but I think I just couldn't get over the repetitiveness of sissy, which I didn't realize was such a huge part of this season until now watching this episode.
Oh man.
I just felt like, and I know that people drag artists will refer to their fellow queens as sisters, but I never heard them called sissies before. So I guess like there was just a disconnect. Maybe it's a Canada thing that I'm not as attuned to, but I don't know. I just felt like this was so just about them rather than things that could have been more universal that they could be representing as a law firm.
I definitely just did not understand the concept. Like as a commercial, I didn't get what they were trying to sell. And then even when they did were they trying to? It's called sissy separation. are they like trying to break up sisters in sorts? Because if that was the case, I really did not understand it.
So
Yeah.
right, okay. So first of all, like I do kind of like oh sissy squad. That's kind of cute as a thing, but when you beat it with a gavel or gravel, I don't know, gravel over our heads, it just becomes incredibly too much. And then Josh, to your point, I think they were saying it's like a hitman agency meets a law firm. So if your sister wrongs you in some way, then they're gonna kill them.
But then
That's
they're
what I
also
got.
going to legally give you their things.
Back, yes. So like, oh, does your sister steal your wig? We'll get it back and we'll kill her. I don't know. Like that was what I got.
If that was the case, they really could have took this a completely different place, and I would have thought that would have been the winning challenge. But whatever they had executed.
But there's so many things they could have done here. They could have been like, sister stole your wig, and then like cut to the person, like to the queen who had the wig on, and be like, snatched, and like take it back. And like just something like that that's still drag, that's funny and like is simple, and we get what you're doing. And then they could like put together like, you know, here's our fees per blah blah blah. I mean, I don't know. Instead it was just chaotic and ridiculous.
And
Like-
the character separation of them were just not. That's what kind of got me. I didn't. They looked like they were playing the same exact character the entire way out. I didn't really know who was who. Like Lona, the wigs were the only thing that was different between them, and that wasn't enough. So, like if they were like, "Hey, oh, your sister stole your wig," well, sissy, get them. You know, really make the difference between it. I would have like loved that, but.
Can we also talk about the difference in outfit, like specifically in this still? So if you're watching the video, we can see that Scarlet Bobo is in what I would like to call a Hillary Clinton pantsuit, skirt suit kind of thing, but like very lawyer, politician-esque. And Alona's not wearing pants.
Yeah, what the hell is she doing?
Never trust a lawyer that doesn't wear pants.
She looks like she's in pajamas.
It does look like pajamas.
Maybe she was supposed to be I don't know. I don't get it. This was like not it for me, but I guess maybe it was more entertaining because I think they got relatively decent praise, right, from the judges. So sometimes that makes me think like, am I the one who like doesn't get it here? Is it me? But hearing you guys, I don't think it's me.
No, I mean, I will say this though. I'm not gonna lie, this was not the worst. If I'm being honest.
Really? Okay,
Not the
now I'm
worst.
super curious to hear your opinion. So I'm like trying to make a guess of which one I think you're talking about. So Josh,
this is this one. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
that was my guess. All right, so Josh, we're going to talk about the bells. So the bitches for enthusiastic lady lawyers, and then in the still that I took, I cut off the something entertainment services. I think is maybe what the last part is.
Entertainment specialist. Yeah.
Entertainment specialist. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. And that one is Jimbo, Rita, and Boa. So Josh, you're saying this one did not do it for you.
Absolutely not. This was a mess as well, bro. I just thought, first of all, I just want to say they all look a hot mess, especially in this pose right now. I'm sorry, but I don't want to get into I'm not going to get into it because that's just rude of me. Now, I do want to say I did not get this concept either. I really did not understand it. I watched this twice, and both times I was like, what? I'm still confused. So that was really what it was. I wanted to get a story, a commercial story, and then you could put on the jokes and I would laugh with you. This one did not give me a story. I didn't understand this one's story either.
Well, so Beth, did it make sense to you? Did it hit for you?
It made sense, but it just wasn't cohesive enough, I think. I think the problem that I was having with it is that they spent so much time introducing who they were that they really crunched down into the bachelorette scene where you could feel the pacing just pick up. And that's the part that you really need to like sink into, right? So that is the reason why you have a law firm, is because you have bachelorettes who are taking over LGBTQ spaces, gay clubs, and ruining drag shows, which is absolutely something that is an issue all over the world, whether you're in the UK and it's, a hen night, or if you're here in the US, whatever. This is an issue. You see a lot of brides to be and bachelorettes think it's okay to get up on stage with the drag performer or to touch them inappropriately or do that kind of thing. And that is absolutely a wonderful issue to discuss for a law firm. But they ended up making the focus on like their names and what makes them funny. And I just felt like they could have maybe turned down the chaos a little bit to get a really good message out, which they ended up doing well in the confessional.
Yeah, that was what. Okay, so I definitely felt the disconnect. I did not know they were talking about in the confessional area where they were discussing all the problems and shit and stuff. I did not know they were talking about their actual commercial, and it felt like two different cuts. Like I stopped paying. I didn't really pay attention to what they were saying because I was so distracted by it. What was happening that it kind of makes a lot more sense. And if they did calm it down a little bit, that could have been a little bit easier to adjust or to actually for me to understand, and I probably would have liked it a lot more.
A few things for me. I mean, I think one, the issue of the bachelorette parties and the stories that people were telling, and especially even later on when we get back in the workroom. And, I think Alona was talking about, like, it's not just cis women. Like, I've had other people come up and touch me, and the people that treat drag queens inappropriately like that, like, what are you even thinking? The fact that Rita got a finger up her butt, like, what? In story, that's kind of hilarious, but then you actually think about what that is and like, okay, that's like not okay. That's not appropriate at all whatsoever.
That's
like
sexual assault.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think like that's the place that they were coming from. And so the fact that there was kind of like actual reality to it, I kind of liked it, I guess, a little bit. But I agree. I think it wasn't necessarily clear. I think what they should have done is what Priyanka and Lemon did, which was let me set up the problem first. Then let me introduce us as like, we're here to solve that problem for you. Because otherwise you're just seeing this ad of the bells and you're like, okay, hello, like I don't need you. Why are you talking to me? And then it's like, oh, wait, maybe that did happen to me that one time, with the bachelorette party and stuff.
Right.
So I think for me, it was just the order that everything was presented in. I think they had a great concept, and Jimbo was hilarious.
It's my special day.
Like going full tilt with that really made me laugh every single time, as stupid as it was.
When she was with Stacy, they cut to a clip of her saying, Jeffrey told me that I need to yell. Jeffrey was saying, I'm like, wait, what? I thought Stacy was here. What?
No, I think it was that a review? Yeah, that was like on the runway, like a previous critique from a previous episode of like, Jimbo, you need to show up to the competition.
Basically saying like Jimbo's too quiet, like you're quiet on the runway, like your runway walk is like really subdued, like you're a very subdued presence, like be louder. And so Jimbo was like, Jeffrey has told me I need to be louder. I'm going to be loud. And it was amazing. And that's exactly what the different levels we're talking about, right? I have a huge issue this episode in particular, and we'll get to it when we're talking about the judging, with specifically with Alona, where I felt like it's been a one note throughout the entirety of the season. And I'm really appreciating at this point in the competition with these different seasons, when you get to the final 7, 8, you really need to show the diversity of your portfolio as a character. And that's what I'm really appreciating about Jimbo coming out and just being like, oh, I can yell and I'm going to do it.
It's my special day. I really appreciate it now.
I was trying to remember when they did the Canadian heritage moments. Jimbo, even though the character was ridiculous, because it was like the judge who was across, like a secret drag queen or something like that, right? It was still subdued, even though it was a bizarre character.
Yeah, she was like, oh no, I've been found out. And I'm like, you could amp that up a little bit.
This makes me wanna, it makes me want to have a bachelorette party so I can just yell, it's my special day over and over and over again. I might just start using that regardless. Maybe when it's my birthday or any other.
I'll do that on Monday. I'll do that on Monday. So
yes, oh, that's right. Yes, happy early birthday to Beth.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, okay, good. Well, we will shower you with "It's your special day."
I expect it's all in caps so that I can truly appreciate it.
Oh, you got it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Stacey gives a critique here, like when they're doing the recording, that they're doing too much. And I think part of that has to do with just the order. Like they weren't able to cull it down and really just pull out what are the really key important things that we need to show here. Probably because they're all smart, creative queens. They want to throw in all of these jokes. But yeah, I mean, I thought this one was probably the second best. I preferred Priyanka and Lemons. But I still thought it was fun.
What I also appreciate about theirs is that what that we haven't really discussed is that how awful but also stereotypical like 90s early 2000s they all looked for like lady lawyers as they branded themselves. Like they looked like a really cheap version of all of those that you saw on the late night stuff, and I really appreciated their looks for it.
Yeah, there was no real lawyers except for maybe this last group kind of could pull it off, but even then, like the makeup and the hair just do it, because like I think in the critiques, like it's her mug's not done, like she didn't finish the beat, and the hair is a little bit of a mess. But yeah, we're talking about Priyanka and Lemon and their group, and they do Kitty and Kat, the Pussy Protectors. This one, I have to say, Beth, this one was my favorite.
Absolutely. When they were in the workroom and they were just talking about it and sketching it out, I was laughing out loud, like actually laughing out loud. And I was like, I can't wait for this. So the only thing is, editors, can we not put their best jokes in when they're talking about it, and then we're not surprised when it happens, like for the full commercial? Like this has happened for not only Canada's Drag Race, but it also happened on All Stars. Just let's try to not do that. But no, I really liked theirs. They're my favorite one.
Yeah, this was a top performance entirely, and I was really like excited because they are actors, and they really showed it. Like Lemon was really funny. She was very on top the entire time. Priyanka was also extremely funny. I think Lemon was more of the more seasoned queen in it. My only critique was like they repeated a lot of the jokes, like even when, and the repetitiveness of it was not the best. Like they'll say something, they'll say, "Have you ever had this happen to you?" And they'll say, "Yes, I had this happen to me." And then, "Have you ever?" And it just kept going on and on and on. That I was like, okay, now I'm getting a little tired of it. But
yeah, I think part of that is like sort of the rule of threes in humor. Like if you repeat it a certain number of times, then like there can be humor in that. Because I think theirs for me was the cleanest. They had the clearest idea of what they wanted to do, and then they just went and executed. And that's what makes it really flow so well. I think that's something that the Bells really struggled with, like Jimbo, Rita, and Boa, was that it didn't necessarily flow, where this was like they had a super clear vision, Beth, and they were just going to go and execute.
I think the issue with the repetition of the lines, to Josh's point, is it's the fact that they said it as their lawyer self and then they acted it. It would have been better if Priyanka said it and then Lemon acted it, and then Lemon as the lawyer said it and Priyanka acted it. So I think that they should have just said, which one can you do right now? Can we also just take a moment to say, Lemon, that split where you came up and then held it there? I was looking at the physics. Okay, I didn't take physics. Okay, I don't know much about physics, but I was blown away. I was like, holy crap!
And she did that in heels.
Yeah, it didn't look humanly possible. How did she do that?
I loved it so much. That was like, wow, she sold it. Like I was so surprised by the critiques of everything that I was like, because these two queens were probably like leaps and bounds better than everybody, and they both were safe, and one was in the bottom. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
We'll get to the judging.
We'll talk. Let's give our opinions, then we can yell at the judges. But yeah, I actually really like that adjustment, Beth. Like if that was something that they had done. I think the one other thing though, I even wrote it down. So was if you've injured your vagina and are in need of legal aid, that line for some reason just sent me. I was like, never in a million years would I think that that's a line that I would hear on my television screen.
It was incredible. Like, and this is exactly where camp meets like I don't want to say proper humor. That takes any legitimacy out of camp. But I really feel like what they were able to do was make it drag, make it camp, but also have a clear vision of, oh yeah, I've seen that commercial before.
Mhm.
And I
Exactly.
just really, really enjoyed theirs altogether.
Mhm.
Yes, them starting off really kind of like it really messed up the other two. Seeing their performance in the at least when they were doing the practice first, because I already had such high expectation with them, and the rest just can't continue to like go down. Especially with Stacy saying bad comments about everybody else. It was really weird.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I loved it. I did love the kitty and cat. They were everything. So
And they had the cat sound effect every once in a while would play, which was like, oh, that's such great attention to detail. It's like a little
was really
joke you
good.
really have to be paying attention to hear, you know, and it just
Yeah.
adds to the layers of the commercial. So yeah, this for me, I think overall was my favorite.
I agree.
All right. Well, we are going to talk about the runways and we're going to talk about the judging. But before we jump into that, I just want to stop down and talk about something that happened in the workroom on runway day. And that is Boa talking about her story of bringing someone home and then essentially being sexually assaulted, robbed. Oh my gosh. I mean, Josh, this to me was just, I mean, we knew that Boa had like sort of gone through a lot in her past, but hearing the story was so heart-wrenching.
absolutely. This Boa sharing this story was like it was very dark, and you saw everybody understanding like, wow, this is extremely dark. And the thing I love and appreciate so much about Boa's story is how it ended, how she received a lot of love for it, and she shined light about like how everybody in her community completely helped her in a time when she was very, very much like sad and heartbroken. And what was really cool about it, like she shared the story online and she said, guys, make sure like this can happen to you, and if you do not want this to happen to you. And that was something that I really appreciated. She was really helping, warning everyone in her community that you must be careful. And Priyanka said it, like drag queens are like mascots in a way. And I just really appreciate like the sisterhood of all the queens really having her back when she was explaining that story. And one thing about Bo I really appreciate is like, even though she is a character, like she's very stupid and funny and stuff, she is very educated and very smart. And the way she carries on in all of her conversations, she showed that. Like she's very mature. So it really shined it really paid attention to Bo, gave Bo a spotlight that was very much needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think also just generally highlighting violence in the queer community that like, look, be careful who you go home with. You know, we get a lot, you know, sometimes we joke about like, oh, we're getting mirror talk and like, oh, it's going to be some sensitive issue that we have to talk about. But I think so often we get really important things that are highlighted, and hearing queens share a personal story can be more impactful, and usually is more impactful, especially when it's someone that you've gotten to know over the course of the season. So I'm happy that that was included. And I think it's important that these are the types of discussions that, you know, we as a community continue to have so we can work on them and improve it for the future so that, you know, Bo wouldn't ever have to deal with something ever like that again.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get into the runways. And this was the Canadian tuxedo, aka the denim look. And I just want to say before we do get into this that Tom Green as the guest host was really, really fun.
I love Tom Green.
Yes.
I do too. Did either of you guys watch him on Celebrity Big Brother?
I did, yeah.
He was on Celebrity Big Brother season 2, and was just such a joy to watch.
He's such a different character that you wouldn't expect on reality television. Like, so that's why I've just enjoyed him both on Big Brother and as a guest host.
We're talking about the US one?
Yeah.
I know I've seen him before. Like, I know him as a person and a character, but I did not know I've seen him in Celebrity Big Brother. What?
That's where you saw him. Yes, they even make reference to it. The Big Brother is always watching.
Dude, I was like, wait, I'm watching Big Brother. I thought I was like, is this really? Do they know that All Stars is coming on at this time? I really was like very confused by that.
That was good planning. That was good planning. Oh yeah, this premiered last night in the U.S.
Literally, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like.
It was 100% not planned because the Big Brother US season, like, put together in such a messy way. That was not planned.
What a coincidence.
The synergy is great. And actually, in the US version, like when they did the Trump the musical, and Omarosa was one of the characters. I think Raja played her, and then they had the reference with like "Loved you on Celebrity Big Brother." So yeah, they're not afraid to reference previous appearances.
Totally.
The moment when he called his mom, Josh, to talk about Boa's outfit, that he was the wind. Beautiful.
That was everything. That joke really paid off so well. At first I was like, oh, that's so funny. And then it just kept going and going until like the mom literally answered and said exactly what he said. I was like, okay, now that's where it gets, that's insane. Insane. She literally described it. I thought he was playing with the joke. He was like, yeah, I was a tree with the wind. I was a windmill. I had like the same feathers and stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then the mom said, yeah, he was a windmill. He had like feathers and stuff. I said,
oh my God.
They had to have a conversation about this very recently.
I couldn't help but think how amazing it would have been to have that moment with RuPaul. Like if RuPaul was the host of the show and Tom Green was on America's version and you just had him call his, like that would not have flied. You would have had something happen with Michelle. Michelle, take his phone, like something like that. I mean, there would have been something happening there. We
just would have heard RuPaul. I'm sorry.
Because I'm just envisioning what happened on that panel where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna call my mom, and I'm sure the other judges are like looking at each other like, is this allowed? And Tom Green's already got his phone out, like dialing his mom to call it up. Payoff was beautiful. Sorry, I just can't get enough.
No, that was amazing, and I loved for every queen that came out. You went, oh, she's wearing jeans.
Yeah, I was like, there must be a joke behind that. You know. I love your jeans.
Oh, I love that she's wearing jeans too. Like I was dead.
That like deadpan humor. No, that's why I loved him so much on Big Brother. I mean, obviously, you had the Tom Green show before that, which was hilarious as well. But the more recent version of Tom Green, when he was talking with Natalie and he was like, sandwiches? Would anybody like sandwiches? It was just anyway, I think of that moment far too often. Well, we will not get too far off track that we've already gotten. And
so that's the only judge we like this week, right? Is that what we're going for?
Yes. I mean,
Stacey can still kind of stay.
I like Stacey. I think Brooklyn actually is really good as a judge. I'm actually really liking her.
And that's it.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
I'm like debating where to do this. Do we get all our complaining about Jeffrey Boyer Chapman out now before we talk about the runway?
Can we just shit on him as we're talking about every single queen? I mean, come on, that's good.
No.
Weasel it all in there. Okay, well, let's jump into Scarlet Bobo. So Scarlet Bobo has the first look that we're going to talk about today. And she, I think she looks kind of fantastic here, Josh.
Yes. I think what really sold it was her performance on the runway. That girl was really giving it to me. I'm like, what? At first I was like, that's safe. But then she was like dancing and shit. She was killing everything. And she just really sold it with that runway. It reminded me a lot of like when Brooklyn took off her outfit and then did all the splits and stuff. You know what I'm talking about in that season? And it gave me a lot of that. Like that's when the walk was really what gave it to me, and then it made me start really appreciating the outfit more once I saw other people's outfits.
Yeah, the comparison definitely not the thief of joy here. Beth, what do you think about Scarlett's look?
I'm gonna make a bold claim. This was my favorite look of the runway for this. This was incredible. I liked it. I actually felt like sometimes the performance got in the way of me being able to actually see and appreciate the outfit. And I don't know if that's an editing issue or if it's just the performance itself. But I loved this. I love the pop of neon. I love the denim shoes. I love the hair looking like it matches denim. She gives me a lot of time. She gives me a lot of Detox vibes, but like a very different. Like she's not in Detox. Like I hate to compare queens because they're all like it's their art and such, but she gives me like attitude wise, she gives me some Detox. Like she has like those pop of neon, which we know that Detox loves to have as well. And I just loved this so much. This was absolutely my favorite runway.
I will say one thing about Scarlet Bobo. From the minute I saw her, she's very, even though she reminds you a lot of Detox, she's very unique as a queen of her own.
Oh, totally.
Extremely. Like she is such a character I don't feel like gets a lot of shine, especially like from watching this entire challenge. I did think that she was going to be the winner of it, and because her look was just so amazing and her performance was pretty safe, thought that she could have definitely won. And I wanted her to win, actually.
She's also like Detox. She has fillers in her face, as we learned. No, I think so. She's got this like really structured jacket that has these big poofy sleeves, which I think really just balance out the rest of the outfit. I think it just really looks gorgeous on her. The windswept hair. I think I was like, when she first walked out, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I agree with you, Beth. As I saw more and more of the outfits, I was like, oh, that was actually really good in comparison to some of these other ones here.
No, I really liked it.
Yeah.
The next queen that we are going to talk about is Alona Verley, Miss Alona Verley. So Beth, she comes out in, I don't know how you would describe this, like assless chaps and a bodysuit.
It's like a jumpsuit with shoulder pads, but that are I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's okay. It's like a meh. Chaps are really hard to pull off. Because they oftentimes don't look like they fit at all. And that's what I'm getting from Alona. But without the chaps portion, this would have been even worse. So like I don't really know. I think part of it is too, like, I really wish she was cinched a little bit more in the waist. Like where the belt is nice because it creates an illusion, but it doesn't look like she's really, obviously when you're doing assless chaps, you can't do padding there. So you have to come up with an illusion elsewhere. And I just felt like if she had just corseted a little bit more, she could have given herself a little bit more shape. That would have been interesting. But I thought this was an okay look. I thought it was fine. I don't like her runway walk though. And I've never liked it throughout the entirety of the season. Like she just kind of walks out like, hi, this is my outfit. And I'm going to turn around and here's my outfit from this angle. Like if she's walking, like if anybody's watching the video, like the beginning where she's walking, her arms are so straight down, and it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, no, this season, this is the first season where I noticed runway walks. Yeah. Some of these girls are killing the runway walk. Others are actually really bad, and they need critiques for it. It's kind of crazy. One thing about her outfit though is literally. When she first came out, I was like, yeah, this is actually really nice. Then I saw her move with the chaps. I'm like, oh, they're loose. I'm not liking it. Then I saw her face. I'm like, wow, look at her. Yeah, she looks good. Then she turned around, and I'm like, oop, that ass is not. And everybody, you know what? This is safe.
So for me, I actually kind of like her runway walk because if you buy into her being a badass bitch, she actually looks really good because she's just like so casual about the whole thing of like, I'm amazing. I'm amazing. You know, I'm amazing. So the flase-da of it all just sort of adds to that character. But if you're like, girl, you're wearing assless chaps that don't fit, you're not cinched properly. And like, what even is that? You know what I mean? Then I can see that illusion gets broken. And so you're just like, girl, I'm not buying what you're selling at all whatsoever. Yeah. For me, it kind of like, it's okay. It's okay. Again, she can paint for the gods. She's gorgeous. And I actually love the whole butt of it all. And, so Brooklyn Heights actually came on Twitter and posted a video of like, oh, the comments, because people were coming at them, the judges, for the comments that they made about her butt. And he was talking about like, oh, specifically like the red bumps that you get while shaving. Like, we're not talking about cellulite. We're not like, we love her booty. We love all of that. It's just, if you're going to put a piece of your body out on stage, they're saying cover it in foundation was like sort of Brooklyn's whole argument here.
Then why don't we say that?
Yeah.
I
It's
know,
Sorry.
right? I don't know if
Because
it's edited weird or something, but
it
yeah.
probably did, but here's the thing, like editors and people who are going to make comments and judgments on television, you have to not only think about the impact of the queen in front of you, but you have to think about what your words are going to be as an impact for people who generally, when you're watching this particular show, are people who have faced a lot of adversity of people judging them for who they are, whether it's how they look or how they act or who they are as an identity. And when you take something like you need to put makeup on your ass, like there's a lot of body images, body image issues and body dysmorphia within the queer community, within the like the women community. Like there's a lot of issues of people who are in your fan base that when they watch that, they're going to be upset. You need to be able to express that. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a counter argument to that is like, well, you critique all the, the runway looks and you're critiquing the walk. And I think the thing is to make clear is like, what is a critique against what they've created and
Correct.
the art that they are making versus like a dig at them personally or like their
Right.
body or something. Like if I'm gonna say like, oh, you padded weird, that's like, I don't like, to me there's a distinction between the two. I know it's like a fine line and it can be tough, and that's where it gets crossed and where a lot of some of these other critiques come from. But I think that that's kind of like the general gist of understanding the differences between those two things.
And just to kind of just say something off of that as well, for the record, the three of us are three people who watch this casually at home. We are not, to my knowledge, none of us are drag artists ourselves. So we're on equal footing with Jeffrey Boyer-Chapman with not having any kind of background to be able to judge this properly. But I will say that it is important to know that like these are just opinions on what people are presenting on the runway. When you say something like you need that ass, you needed to be able to put makeup on, foundation on that, you contextualize that a little bit more because it comes off as to Liana's point as a personal attack on something that Alona probably can't help in that moment, But if it's about shaving and red bumps, like yes, that is something a person can help with makeup and such. So just contextualize that.
Yeah, they didn't give him any positive affirmations to her. Like, okay, so next time you do this, try to put makeup on it. Like, they didn't try to help her out on what she could have fixed. So it came off more like, oh, this is just something I can't fix. And you're coming for me at like that. And I was, just to go back to my point, because I did say that ass as well. I meant more like just showing it entirely. I thought it didn't add to the outfit. In fact, it just it's away from it.
I mean, I think when you have the assless chaps that like don't fit right, like it looks ill-fitted, I think is kind of the point here. And so then, her butt really stands out in a good or bad way, either way.
Yeah. I like the booty, personally.
I like the booty. Okay.
I like the top of it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Her presentation. All right, whatever. Let's jump into Boa. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, Brooklyn's line about her wings being like third day old Coachella wings or whatever, Josh, really made me laugh because they did look a little raggedy here.
They did. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, Boa, good job for a second.
For a second, yeah.
And then I started looking at it more. I'm like, ooh. And then I saw her breastplate. And I'm like, oof. And then I saw everything. It just started falling apart and apart and apart. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I hope they don't. I mean, they love Boa. They're probably going to give her a lot of good critiques. I'm so glad. I'm so glad they did not, because that shit did not fly. And then even if you take off the wings, what is it? There wasn't anything there. The wing, like, there was barely anything with her regular outfit anyways. And the wings also did not have much context with the outfit. If you look at it, she's just wearing, like, I didn't see where it matched. And for the first time, they actually agree with me. The judges actually agree with me with Boa.
Yeah, Beth, these wings didn't fly literally or figuratively. What did you think about Boa here?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, when I watched this the first time, I was answering a text. So I, out of the corner of my eye, I went, oh wow, look at her with her arms like that. That's kind of cool. And then I saw that they were wings and I went, oh, okay, so that sucks. That's awful. That really looks like the most depressing birthday. Actually, you know what it looks like? It looks like when you go through a car wash, the like little things that hang down and like go on top of your car. Like that's what I thought it was. And I was like, oh, I A for effort on that one, but like the execution I didn't like. This outfit is kind of a mess from top to bottom. And here's the thing.
Mhm.
I love when a bigger, curvier queen does a really high cut of a bodysuit or something, or a swimsuit. I love that. But what I don't like is, like, my attention goes to all the holes in the fishnets or in the stockings. I go to the wings. I don't get to focus on like what makes this like so cool for a bigger queen to look at. And on top of that, I don't like the gold sequin. Like, why? Like, the sequence doesn't matter. The sequence. Did you hear me say sequence? Okay, Roxy Andrews coming on in. She just threw her voice from Florida. But I don't know. I like the hair.
The hair
That's
looked nice.
it. For a denim challenge, I don't think I liked anything else.
Yeah, we got to get her a breastplate that fits. Like, it's also, it's a little too narrow, right? So it doesn't like quite look proportional. Lower half, aside from the rib tights, like she's padded gorgeously. I think she looks fantastic.
Exactly. She looked good.
But yeah, it's not necessarily cohesive. And just as someone who loves wings, these are just so sad. They're so sad.
I don't know what
really
she was
sad.
thinking.
Poor wings. So I think, yeah, the critiques that she got were definitely justified, at least somewhat here.
Agreed.
Jimbo is our next queen. Now, I previewed this last week by taking a screenshot of Jimbo in a denim jumpsuit face kini, Beth. What did you think of Jimbo?
This is obviously one of the stronger ones as well. Or at least, maybe not obviously. I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to, it's subjective. But I think that when you compare to everybody else, like the creativity of having equal sized squares of different cuts of denim from head to toe, from the shoe all the way up to the ponytail, covering the face, and then notice that Jeffrey Bauer Chapman had said a couple weeks ago, you need to be able to, like, maybe you should think about it a little bit more when you're painting to like have your skin that's exposed match. Well, look what she did this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that we could have seen like a redemption arc from Jeffrey Bauer Chapman's catty comment, but whatever. This was fantastic. And just the pop of red with the red lip, the red nails, the red ponytail. I loved this. This was fantastic.
Yes. Jimbo actually really did serve with this look. I'm not gonna lie to you guys though. When we talk about runway walks,
Oh
yeah,
this
100%.
it was distracting me. It was like, why is she walking like a monster? She
Dude walks like Sasquatch.
She really do.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not that. That's just not it. That really isn't. But overall, if she was just standing still, I would have been like, this is a great ass look. I loved everything about it. Just not that walk. That walk was so uncomfortable.
You said Sasquatch. It's Sasquatch coming home late from a party and trying not to wake his parents up. Like that like
Yes. Very gingerly walking Sasquatch.
I'm sorry. So crazy. She does give me that. She gives me X-Men vibes. She gives me like one of those X-Men transformations.
like Mystique kind of.
Yes.
Especially with that like bright red hair. That really like does it.
blue.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Well, this next queen to walk the runway is Rita Baga, and she has she's trying to be pink here, right? That's like with the hair, the paint, that's what she's going for. And she does this little strip tease, I guess, on the runway, Josh. What did you think about Rita's look?
Oh my God. Another look I did not like. What?
Yeah.
This was so, it was already like, when she first had everything on, I was like, okay, this is a mess. But then she took everything off, and I'm like, this didn't improve. It did not improve. And I don't know, it just, everything seemed very, very much like fabric, and she made it like last minute. I don't know.
Yeah. It didn't look denim to me. Is that it looks like blue. It just doesn't look like denim. I like this zipper reveal for a denim runway. That was like the only thing I could say that I really, and I loved her hair and her makeup. But I agreed with the judges about you need to pad that booty, girl, if you're going to do that. Because from the profile that looked, and I don't like the boots after the first outfit. Like it doesn't go with the rest of the outfit. I don't know.
She does really look like Pink here, though.
She really does.
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult to Pink, but either way, like she just looks gorgeous and really it just especially embodies Pink, sort of like her third, fourth album ish kind of era, like when she's doing all of the tours with the circus kind of tricks and stuff, like all of that stuff, which is extremely impressive and something that my body is definitely not capable of. So that I will give to her. I think the outfit is just doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but
so here's the thing. It starts off asymmetrical and then becomes symmetrical. And I think it would have been stronger if it had been one sleeve that comes off and then the zipper reveals on the other one. And then you don't take off the like if you're going to do something, like it's cooler just to have like a couple things that you don't expect to come off. You don't expect one sleeve to come off or whatever. If you're going to do something at all, I just generally felt like this was, and maybe a boot reveal, like cut those down a little bit too. I don't know. I don't know. This was not my favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe a wig reveal probably could have made it come. I don't know. I don't like when anybody. It reminds me of like All Stars 5 when they did the 2 outfits or the 3 outfits in one and made him turn her outfit into a bathing suit. I don't think that's not necessarily a reveal to me. Right. Taking off and just making yourself more skinnier or more. You take off to the outfit instead of like changing the outfit.
No, I agree.
Like changing the outfit completely versus something that still looks kind of similar. Yeah, I don't know. It was, which then when we get to the judging was sort of interesting, but let's finish up. We have 2 more queens to talk about. Josh, Priyanka is the next queen to walk the runway, and she gets clocked for this in the judges' critiques, but I don't really get that. I think she looks great.
She looks amazing. When somebody said, I want a coffee latte or something, I was like, yes, she is giving me pumpkin spice. Like, I loved everything. I actually really liked this outfit. I thought this was going to be the top outfit of the week, but they really went in on her.
And they also said that she didn't have like her normal attitude on the runway or something like that. And I was like, she seems to be serving to me. I don't know. I thought, I really liked the outfit. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to do kind of like a faux chap kind of thing, like do it how Priyanka did it. Like where when she's standing straight, there's no sag in the straps between the boots and the belt. Like that's great. When you have a little bit of looseness or sagging, like that's where the illusion kind of like it's sloppy. And she I thought she pulled it off really well.
Exactly.
I think so too. I think she comes out, she looks fierce, kind of swashbuckling pirate and denim kind of look, but I thought that she really pulled it off, and I didn't understand why the judges were so low on it. Maybe that's why I'm so high on it, because low expectations, or I was mad that they judged her so harshly. But I think maybe because was it the white that they didn't like? I'm not sure if so she's got this like white bodysuit with sort of another denim blue coat over it. And so I don't know if maybe both are denim, like it had to be denim on denim, but it screams denim to me.
It screams Daphne from Scooby-Doo going to drag high school and running that school. Like that's what it screams to me. But I also here's the thing. Her makeup and her hair were so different to me than what she's normally presented on the runway. She actually looked like another queen coming out at first. And I was like, oh no, that's Priyanka. Like she's another queen that's really showing me a lot of more versatility with her looks at this point in the competition. And I think that's important.
When she said Angelica, I said, yes, Angelica. Yes. You very much give me that. I know that girl. I loved it.
Yeah, Angelica from Ashwa. It was, I think, her line. Yeah, that was hilarious. Okay. Last, but, well, maybe least, Lemon. So, honey, Lemon, baby girl, what is you doing? Beth, can you try to walk me through this hodgepodge of an outfit?
Okay, number 1, I think we've established, Lemon, that you can't wear that color hair and not be in the bottom for fashion. Because every time you've worn that, you've gotten clocked. 2, you were just told last week that you need to be able to pad or do something a little bit more in order to give yourself shape. You didn't do it. I don't know what's wrong. 3, if you were to take off the sleeves, I actually think this might be slightly better. I actually don't mind the bottoms. I think it kind of looks kind of cool. But like, I think it's because you also have such a baggy, weird sleeve that connects around for your collar. I think if you were to take that off, it would have been a little bit better. But I don't know. I understand and appreciate the attempt, but I'm gonna have to say no, dog. It's a no from me.
Yeah, that the thing about her outfit is like it comes off so sloppy when you first see it, but then so is a lot of fashion looks in my opinion. I'm like, I'm not a fashion critique. Maybe this does look good to the judges. She did have like she was the only person I've seen that is using jeans and really using jeans to make her outfit. You look at it, it's just all jeans, and I thought that was really nice. The execution of it all really was a mess. It definitely looked like she was wearing a trash bag and decided that she could sell it. And no, she didn't sell it.
That was absolutely my feeling too. Is like I really want to like this because I want to appreciate the creativity of going and grabbing a bunch of different denim types and then trying to make it into something new and utilizing, the bell bottoms on the sleeves. But it really just looks like she rolled around in a pile of denim cut-ups and that's what stuck to her body. And then that's what she walked out on the runway with.
Yeah, and the wig really did not help her.
No, girl. And come on, that highlighter yellow, you got to get rid of it because it's not doing you any favors, apparently. I'm just saying. I do like the chunky shoe with the pant. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy, but I love the pants portion.
I actually like the pants too.
I like the pants, and I actually like the sleeves. It's just the middle part to me is what's really messy. And didn't tie everything together. That's probably why we all have different opinions on it. But like, I just love how she flows with it. That
is kind of beautiful about her outfit. That everybody can find one thing that they like that's different, which we can't say that for other things. So wow, way to go, Lemon. You've really brought together the world.
I think my favorite part was during the critiques when Brooklyn was like, well, if you'd done this and this and this and this and this, and Lemon was like, oh, okay, so something completely different then.
Yes.
That's one thing I like about Brooklyn. You can tell she's like a queen because she's like, ooh, yeah, no, I would have took, oh yeah, and I would have added this, oh, and this away. I can tell her. I'm pretty sure her brain was like really going on while she was looking at Lemon that entire time.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, she was like, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. All right, the judging. Okay, so this is where I've got some questions, some comments, but what we end up having here. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? Let's chit chat about who should go home first, because we definitely have the classic question that Drag Race always like to ask, which is, who do you think of your competitors should go home? So I'm just going to review who said who, or who said whom, or whom said whom. I'm not smart enough. Okay.
Who said whom?
Who said whom? Thank y'all. This is the thing about this here. Who said who? Bobo said lemon. Alona said lemon. Boa said lemon. Jimbo said lemon. So that's like Bobo says a name and everybody else is like, let me jump on board with that. I'm going to say the same name. Then Rita, who is so confident in herself, is like, no, I'm going to give my real opinion. I'm going to say Alona. And then Priyanka and Lemon, of course, say Alona as well. Josh, do anything come out of this for you?
Yeah, so when they first said Lemon, I was very confused. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they would have said Boa out of anybody. And nobody said Boa, which was really confusing to me. Because that was the clear bottom of everything. And then when they got into the workroom and they were discussing everything, they were saying Lemon because of personal reasons, more than it was because of the runway challenge. I mean, more than it was about the whole entire challenge entirely. And it felt like a lot of people were just mad at Lemon and really wanted to send her home. They were very much, even Alona said it. I don't know if she was being sarcastic or not, but she literally said like, I picked you because you're everything I want to be.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but
oh my God. If I had been on that stage, I would have said Alona or Boa because I felt like Alona really bombed the challenge. I felt like her runway was meh. I felt like Boa did okay in the challenge, but her outfit was girl. So I really, as I looked at the performances, Alona was just in the bottom last week. Like, There's a few things that I would have taken into consideration. So I definitely felt like Alona made sense. Didn't feel like Lemon made that much sense. Like if you're going purely off of who had the worst runway, like I could see sense for saying Lemon. That's completely legitimate. But I think Stacey said it correctly. She was just like, Lemon is a natural actress who can really bring it, and the girls are intimidated by her, and so they're just letting her have it on the runway. And I really appreciate when the judges have the ability to really see what's happening. I know that we've made fun of the judges a lot, but I'm really enjoying Stacey as a judge. I really appreciate having someone who is from a high fashion modeling world, who's been on Top Model, so knows reality television, knows subjective judging, and is able to take critiques in a constructive way and make it universal, so those of us who are outside of the industry can also understand it. And I think she's doing a really great job.
A very good job. She's the most authentic of the judges, and I feel like Brooklyn is also she's actually really proven me why she deserves her spot as a judge on the panel. So I really like those two. Yeah. I love them.
And don't forget your wieners.
And then for Jeffrey Boyer Chapman. We joked in the pre-show about doing the whole podcast as Jeffrey Boyer Chapman with his whole affectation, which is, we talked about this with Corey Cool last week, like has to be put on, because we've seen him do other stuff and he's not, I don't know. Anyway,
so
you can tell he's fake.
Yeah, that's what I do not like. Okay, so everybody notices that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just you.
Except for Jeffrey, apparently. Doesn't realize that he's...
Well, I mean, look, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's caught up in the moment, trying to be RuPaul, trying to do something, so...
I think season 2 he'll change.
Fingers crossed, yes.
All I'm saying is, if you're supposed to be an actor, you're really failing at that. So.
Yeah. I don't know.
Come for him. IDK, whatever. Judging this week. Okay, so Jimbo, Scarlet Bobo, and Priyanka are declared safe. So then Lemon, Boa, and Alona are in the bottom.
And Rita wins.
Very confused by that.
Okay, I was also very confused. Came out of nowhere. Yeah. I was like, maybe Jimbo, probably Priyanka, Rita.
I even thought maybe Scarlet.
I thought it was going to, when they gave critiques to Priyanka, I said, okay, so Scarlet has this. I guess they really want to make this even for every queen. Like, they're giving everybody a win. That's what I was thinking was happening. And then they gave it to Rita. I said, what the? Wait, what?
Like,
I definitely missed that.
Yeah, I like Rita as a queen. Like, nothing against her, but to be frank, like I just thought that there were other queens who outperformed her here. So and that combined with the outfit, Beth just really didn't make sense to me. But
no, I agree. I felt like in terms, if you're gonna go for both performance and runway, for me, it based off of the judges as well, it was going to be Jimbo or Scarlet. For me personally, would have been another Jimbo win. I was really confused by Rita. I love Rita. I love that she's a little older than the rest of them, that she's kind of an icon. She has this cabaret background. That's something that we haven't seen a lot of on any drag race. So it's been really wonderful to see somebody like come on and just really own every challenge. And while I do agree she definitely was one of the better ones, I don't know if it was a win worthy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I a little piece of me is nervous because what sometimes we find is that in the US version of RuPaul's Drag Race, there are some narratives that kind of get crafted as the season is going along, or even potentially pre-season. And I'm just hoping that the judging is able to really view what is happening in front of them and judge it authentically. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do we know if this is a live final taping? Like, is the finale live?
I don't think so. So from my understanding, I think it is it's sort of like the UK version or the older or All Stars versions of Drag Race, where there's no sort of like live grand finale.
That they just filmed multiple endings and then see which one.
So they do that?
I understand it.
So
I think so.
Okay.
So then Boa and Alona end up in the bottom, and they lip sync to "Scars Till You're Beautiful" by Alicia Cara, which is just such a gorgeous song. And oh my goodness, the performances here. I mean, Alona knocked it out of the park, Josh. I thought she just emoted. She was so strong in the story that she was telling, which is the story of the song.
Amen. Yeah, no, Alona really killed it, and I could see from Jeffrey Boyer his like face was like, "What is happening? Boa, you're supposed to kill it!" Like it literally looked like he wanted Boa to win that, and they were expecting that, but no, Alona really knocked it out of the park, and they very much. I'm glad they gave us a more like subdued song to see these girls actually perform with emotions, because we don't really get that a lot in Drag Race entirely, but when we do get it, and we get performances like this, I think it really shows that the queen is very much. The queen is a good queen, so
it shows what lip syncing is supposed to be, which is lip syncing is not just I know the words and I'm reciting it. It's supposed to be an illusion of that you are the one performing that song, and sometimes we get lost in that with all the dips and tricks that people can do on the stage. I wasn't that impressed. Yeah, I'm gonna do a hot take here.
Oh my god!
I felt like Boa was much stronger in the beginning and then just lost steam and it wasn't impressive. And I felt like Alona was doing unnecessary like with her arms that didn't make sense to the song, and it took me out of what her face was supposed to be emoting. And I felt Alona like was really weak at first, and then as the song builds, it matched where her intensity was. But again, like it's the same note I've had for her, which is it's the same note. Like she didn't have levels in that song. Boa had some levels, but it wasn't strong. Like it was like she lost steam when the song was intensifying. So overall, I was okay with it in the beginning, like where it started off soft. I was like, okay, like a softer approach. I'm here for it. And then it just kind of fizzled out for me. I really wasn't that impressed.
Yeah, you're right with one thing. A lot of the emotional like
I'm only right with one thing. Oh,
sorry.
No. I'm making fun of it.
No, like literally, if I was to compare it to a lot more of the more iconic emotional songs that are played, like Chicha DeVane's moment and that one performance, and then even Latrice, they all had that one time where they were like it really hit the steam, and this one it seemed like it was all one note. I could definitely see like nobody kicked it. The most we got was Boa kicking in the air. You saw that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's at that level at all. I think for me, it was just the comparison between Alona and Boa, because I thought Boa to me felt very awkward.
She got way awkward as the song went on.
I don't know. There was something odd about it. And so I think Alona, even though, like I could see the one note-ish thing of it all, I think she really, because I could sort of feel physically from my television screen, like the emotion coming from her. And that was something that I just really resonated with. I just, even though she annoys me sometimes, there's something about her that I just vibe with. You know how sometimes there's people that you're just like, you know what? I don't know what it is about you. Like, girl, you annoy me, but I just vibe with you, you know?
Yeah.
And I sort of get that from her.
I also would like to see, I'm rooting for her in a way, even though she very much is annoying. She's like one of those villains in the TV show that you're just like, I kind of like her. Like, I kind of need to keep her in.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think she's gone next, though.
Oh yeah, I think she was supposed to go home this week for sure.
Yeah.
The way they were like looking, literally they were looking as if they're like, what is going on? They're supposed to be sending you home, not Boa. So
yeah.
I think what it is she reminds me of a lot of underdogs that I went to school with, or like I know in other parts of my life where like she is still fiercely who she is, and her main goal in life is to go, no, bitch, like you will appreciate and respect me for who I am. And I think that's why I really like to use Liana's language. I really vibe with her. Is that what you kids are saying now these days? Vibe. But I really,
we're just kicking it.
I'm just kicking it. It's real lit. But that's what I really feel like she provides, is like this really genuine sense of self, and in the sense of defiance, which so much of drag and so many people of the queer community face in their life, and have to like kind of make that a part of their persona. Like that's what I like about Alona. And so the critiques I have for her are really more based in, I want to see more levels. I want to see you take chances. I want to see you not act like just yourself, because who yourself is great, but I want you to express yourself in other ways.
Next week, we are going to get a pageant. Super curious to see what this looks like, because
It looks ridiculous.
it does look absolutely ridiculous. Very silly, very funny, I hope. Also probably cringy. Josh, I just want to get your thoughts overall. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh my gosh.
The season.
So here's my hot take. I do think it's so weird. I think Lemon can win this. Absolutely. Sorry about that. Yeah, I do think Lemon is definitely the one I think who is going to win this. She has like the underdog winner edit where everybody hates her, but she gives me very much authentic vibes with herself. Like a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, you are very shady and stuff," but she really looks like the one that's going to get another win, and then another one that's going to put her on top. I think Jimbo and Rita are also going to be the tops in there, but I don't think they're going to really beat her. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Alona's out next, and then I think it's really anybody's game. I think Rita's getting a lot of love from the judges. I think Rita's going to be there. I think Jimbo's doing quite well, and I think Priyanka. Like those for me would probably have to be my top three. But you know, Scarlet Bobo could bring it. Like she's been entertaining really since day one, just very under the radar. Now that we're in the final episodes, there's less queens. You know, we'll see. We'll see if she can stand out.
Yeah, she definitely needs this win. If anybody needs a win, because she really is like one of the people who have been on top a lot. Just she hasn't been the standout in a way. So
yeah, I think that Rita's going to win this. I think that there's a sense that I'm getting from the judges, which is a level of respect that they put on her being an older, established icon of a queen throughout for Canada, and specifically within Montreal. And I think that that's going to be something that we see. I mean, she has 3 wins under her belt right now, and she
3 wins.
3 wins.
3 wins.
Oh, I thought she had only 1 win.
Because it was the fashion. Yeah, the fashion challenge, this one, and then what was the first one that she won?
The elegance, the one where you had to make your own outfit based off of the box that you got, and she won that one.
Well, then never mind. Rita's definitely the front winner.
But I agree with what you're saying though too, Josh. I really feel like Lemon is one of the narrators that has kind of the dark horse edit going on right now too, and I feel like what she's getting is a similar edit to Violet Chachki, except for Violet Chachki was a fashion queen and Lemon is an acting queen. Like that's what I'm getting, where Violet was not a good actress and that was like all acting challenges, but she brought it every week on the runway. Lemon's been bringing it every week for the challenges unless it's a fashion challenge. And I kind of get that same kind of edit.
Yeah.
Well, we will find out how that all plays out over the next coming weeks. Of course, we have to get to our pageant first. Before we get out of here, I just want to take a moment to plug our charity of the week. So first of all, shout out to Melissa Woodward for tweeting at us and giving some suggestions for Canadian charities to promote in the future. So the first charity that we're going to promote is the Black Solidarity Fund. So racism, discrimination, and unequal access is not just an American problem. Canada also has a painful history of systemic racism. And so what the Black Solidarity Fund is that it helps support charities and other social services, arts, culture in the Black community in Canada. So one way that you can help with this cause is to go to CanadaHelps.org and go to the Black Solidarity Fund. And they have like a donate basket up at the top that you can donate to. And we can continue to fight this and continue to fight for this cause, something that's really important that, we find out it's not just in America, it's in Canada as well. So like I said, that is CanadaHelps.org. The Black Solidarity Fund is what you want to check out. Josh, thank you so much for coming on as a guest with us today. How can people find you on social media?
Absolutely, guys. So I'm on Twitter. My link is JoshCEOJW. Yep. So you can always follow me there. I follow back and I love talking to people. So I would love any DMs you guys send my way. And I'm also on YouTube now. I'm still working on that. I suck a lot, but I am still working on that YouTube channel someday. But as a fan of this podcast and listening to all you guys' episodes, this is a dream of mine. So I really appreciate you guys putting me on here. It's amazing, especially since I've been watching the show with you guys since you guys started. So I love it.
Well, we had such a blast, and I'm sure we'll see you in the future back on with us, or also to talk a little bit Big Brother.
Absolutely.
Beth,
BB.
what about you? Where can people find you on social media? What are you up to?
Sure. People can find me at AugustaWind11 on Twitter and Instagram, and at twitch.tv/AugustaWind11. I have been playing a whole bunch of different kinds of games. Last week, we had a really iconic night where we played Werewolf for my Twitch anniversary with Liana and Puya and a couple other RHAP people. So please go check that out. It's in my VODs. It was a lot of fun. And I'm also on My Weekly Meltdown. We're breaking down BB22. So if you can't get enough from RHAP and you're looking for more content, feel free to check us out too.
And you can find me on Twitter at Liana RHAP. I am currently covering, of course, Big Brother 22. I just did the morning update with Taryn to talk about everything that's going on with the live feeds. I'm also going to be covering Big Brother as part of the RHAP B&B. Yes, the RHAP B&B is going to be back. Mike Bloom and I are going to be having fun, and playing some games about Big Brother, which is going to be a blast. We're not going to be doing an episode this week. Look out for that coming up next week once we have a full week of episodes. Mike and I are also covering Survivor, doing our Survivor Rewind in Time. Looking at this week, we are doing Pearl Islands. Oh my gosh, it is the dead grandma lie. And what a fun episode. What a fun season. Check that out. And finally, we have a new podcast. I talked about it last week here on the Reality TV Wrap Ups, and that is 90 Day Fiance. So Puya, very own Puya, is going to be talking about 90 Day Fiance, both iterations of the show that are going on right now. Think of it as kind of this week in 90 Day Fiance, a wrap up of everything that is going on in the world of 90 Day Fiance. Check that out. It has its own podcast feed. And if you can leave ratings and reviews, that really helps us to get a new podcast noticed and really just push it out there. Speaking of ratings and reviews, you can also leave ratings and reviews for us on iTunes. That helps us get visibility. And if you want to support everything that's going on here at Rob Has a Podcast, consider becoming a patron of Rob Has a Podcast. Go over to patreon.com, check out RHAP, Rob Has a Podcast, and you can help everything that we do here. There are a number of super cool benefits, including being part of a Discord, a Facebook group, as well as participating in a number of activities that are patron only. So you don't want to miss that. Check it out. Patreon.com, Rob Has a Podcast. Okay. Shout out to Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes, and we will talk to y'all next week. Bye.